into what may be the last episode of the finals with the OG crew. We got three of the four. Dutch could not make it for this show, but great to be here with you, Wham Bam. Great to be here with you, Babano. Wham Bam, what do you think of what you've seen so far? And yeah, just what do you think of what you've seen so far from the Mavericks, especially in that last game?
Man, shout out to the people in the chat. Shout out to my boy Skee, Babano. Shout out to Dutch not being here as well. We'll be remiss if I didn't put a RIP to our brother Day One, Tease, man. Rest in peace to our brother Tease. And just to go on, positive vibes for the day. We will win today in honor of the bro. And then yeah, so what I seen so far was a good spanking, man, as they would say, bro. Took them boys to the shed and just let them have it, man. Made them boys pick out what switch is on the tree. Made them pick their own switch out, and just put them out there to the shed. I think this is a cold ass whooping right here. And shout out to the chat. Yeah, shout out to the chat. And yeah, this is not good, bro. This is not good for the NBA. I don't think we're all kind of disinterested. I don't think we're all feeling this shit. I was expecting there would be some type of fight last night. We did get to the money with Kyrie finally. Luckily for me, I didn't give up. I didn't give up on Kyrie. I tripled up on him last night, and I'm over it now. I'm over it. I'm washing my hands. You will not see me bet a Kyrie prop in Game 4. I'm out of there. You know what I mean? But what we did call, and what I think is one of the best stories of this finals, is Jaylen Brown. Just as far as his consistency in this playoff run, what he's been doing, they're calling him the closer now. And I think that a lot of that has to do with what he was doing on the offseason. Obviously, not making that, not being able to dribble with his left has been haunting him his whole career. And he's still turning over the ball. He still can't really go left. Like, you know what I'm saying? He still doesn't have that ability. But now they got a lot more room for error with all the pieces that they have. Not only were they able to get Porzingis and have a big impact, but Drew Holiday has been pretty much the steal of the damn year, pretty much the way his contribution has been. So I don't think that there's anything that Dallas can do. I thought that they were going to be able to rebound and kill the rebounds here. That's not happening. Thought Kyrie was going to be able to distribute the ball and have an up-tempo game, which was seeming like that was the case in that game. Seemed like they were being up-tempo. But that was not the case either. So I don't know what they could do here other than just sit back and just take this ass whooping, you know what I mean? And just keep going here. So I think that's what it is here. And, I'm happy to be here with you guys. I think we got a lot to talk about as far as what to expect in Game 4. But there's money to be made for sure. And I think we are going to get to it.
Yeah, we will get to it. Babano, I know you know our good friend Tease as well. And also, what do you think of what you've seen so far in this series?
Yeah, I just wish I had something more appropriate than water, but we will do it anyway. Raise a bottle, a glass to Tease. I had to stop what I was doing when I heard the news and I saw the post from online about that he had passed away. This is someone that we got to see, obviously, in San Antonio, the first Pubapalooza in 2022. Probably stands the test of time, probably the best Pubapalooza it was. What a full of life character Tease was. Loved sports, loved betting like us, throwing it down, just having a good time. Just would open your arms up to anybody, even a stranger. He'd give you, he'd do anything for you once you got to know him. Hanging with him for those few days in San Antonio, you see just what a genuine guy he was, and just an immense loss for our entire community and anyone that got to meet him. We send our condolences to his family and friends, and we certainly mourn his loss and everyone that knew him. So rest in peace, Tease. You will be missed. Shout out to you. As far as this series goes, we can pretty much say, rest in peace to the Dallas Mavericks now at this point as well, because this Dallas Mavericks team is finished. They had to win last night. And even if they won last night, this doesn't guarantee anything. It just means you give yourself a chance to try to win another game. You have to win in Game 4 to get back to 2-2, because I think you could say even down 3-1 that it was going to be over for the Dallas Mavericks. So It's a very disheartening second half. And I knew when it was 1 point lead for them at halftime that they were in some trouble. That they played, they came out strong. They got up by double digits. They let Boston just rip right back into it late in that first quarter. And then all the stuff, everything was negative for Dallas coming out of halftime. Defense struggled. Boston's just started making a ton of shots, and every shot was going down. That didn't help. But, Luka's defense was brutal. His yapping and nonstop just squawking to the referees was even more brutal. And it just went downhill from there. And look, I think Dallas made a valiant effort, but I think some of that was, when Boston got up by 21 in the fourth quarter, they kind of shut it down and said, you know what, we've probably got this game in our back pocket. And they definitely, I think, kind of fell asleep. That wasn't all Dallas coming back. That was, I think, Boston falling asleep a little bit with a 21-point lead, but never. It was still a nice effort by Dallas, but too little, too late to cut that lead. Down to 3, I think, at 1 point late in the fourth, and then Boston hangs on. But 3-0 series lead. Nobody's come back from 3-0 down. So I think that's over. And by the way, speaking of, we lose our great friend Tease. We also lost Jerry West yesterday, the Laker great, who won as a player, won championship. 6 championships as an executive with the Los Angeles Lakers. The Showtime dynasty does not happen if not for Jerry West. Shaq and Kobe and their reign and their three-peat from 2000 to 2002 does not happen without Jerry West. And just a basketball savant is the word for him. He knew the game. He knew X's and O's left and right. When you've got Michael Jordan saying he helped me in my career so much, that tells you all you need to know about just the kind of basketball man, that Jerry West was. A tremendous player. I know that's going back to the 60s and the 70s when he played, but I posted the clip. It's worth watching. It was the night that they clinched the one NBA championship that they won with Jerry as a player. 1972 NBA Finals against the New York Knicks. Phil Jackson, was even playing still, in 1972, former Lakers and Bulls head coach. And Wilt Chamberlain was in that game. Jerry, there's just great memories there of watching that again. Great times. And again, they won that game, and it was great to see that again. And I think it's must-watch material for anyone who wants to pay tribute to Jerry West. Put that old clip on of Game 5, 1972, at the old Great Western Forum back in those days. It used to be in Los Angeles. So rest in peace as well to the great, the legend, Jerry West.
Well said. And man, the chat going crazy. They own our boy, man. They firing him up in the chat. But I'll say this.
Put Dutch to rest.
Let's put that Dutch boy to rest. Yeah.
Oh my God, man.
He said he got diarrhea.
One thing though, I think wasn't mentioned. Jason Kidd, as much as I've talked good about him, he has not been cutting it.
And as much as we've talked shit about Joe Mazzulla,
he's been great.
He's been getting it done.
Man, shame on us for that. Yeah, for real. We tripping.
But that last game specifically, you're on a 20-2 run, and you call a timeout.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Why are you stopping the momentum? That's just like the biggest thing.
Yep.
The biggest red flag to me last night. Yep. But let's talk about it, man. We got one more game. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. We got potentially one more game left in this series, maybe more. But opened up Celtics -1. It's different depending where you shop. Either team can be -1, honestly. Total though is sitting at 211, and don't think Porzingis is gonna play. They didn't need him in that last game, so I'm going to come to you, Bobano, and I'll say this: Mavs seems like they've tried all that they can try. They almost seem like they just don't have enough. Kyrie has a good game. Luka has a solid game, minus the defense, and it's still not enough to get it done. You need these other guys to have somebody else to have a really big game, and nobody's doing it. Celtics, for them, it seems like even in the Indiana series, I mean, no matter what adversity they have, they find a way to get the job done in the end. This point spread is just pretty much asking them to win. Do you think the NBA Finals is over tomorrow?
I think it is, but if you're going to get anything from Dallas early, it's going to be first quarter. And actually, there is a single standalone bet I do like in Dallas, and it is the first quarter, and which was by far their best quarter in Game 3 last night. Was the opening quarter. If they're going to show some kind of fight and effort to try to avoid the sweep, it's going to come in the first quarter. You would think that first quarter hasn't been that bad for Dallas the last few games either. Game 2 in Boston, first quarter wasn't bad. Game 3, so I don't mind that look. This is one of those games too. I do have Boston though full game. You can get it's +1 still at Bet365. Most books have them as a 1-point favorite. Bet365 has them a 1-point underdog right now, but Boston +1 full game. So I would look at those two directions. Dallas first quarter, only first quarter, because I don't trust them first half after what I saw last night. But first quarter, Dallas full game. Look here with the Boston Celtics. And I'm also going to try. Now this is dicey because, like I said, I don't fully trust Dallas for the first half, but you can get pretty good price on this at Bet365. The double result. It's one of those bets you can make in soccer, halftime, full time, very popular type of bet. You can do it basically for halftime, full game here with this game. And I'm going to take a shot with it that it's Dallas leading after the first half, Boston winning the game. And that is +450 at Bet365. Again, it's a bit of a different type of bet, but in a game where I don't have ultra strong opinion and conviction, just trying to get a little more creative with it. Those are basically the three looks I'm going to have here when it comes to Game 4. It's going to be Mavs first quarter, just on the money line. Dallas, Boston full game. You can get +1 still. And I'm going to take a shot with that double result. Mavs first half, Boston full game, and you can get that at +450 right now at Bet365. Like I said, I think you will see Dallas especially with Luka and Kyrie, two guys like that on the team. You're going to see a good start, an effort early, but it's been proven now, 3 games. They're just not the better team. There's just so many more offensive game breakers right now for Boston. Like, look at all the different guys that can make shots for them right now. Tatum, Brown, Derek White, even without Porzingis, even saw frickin' off the bench there last night making a big time. Tillman making a big time 3 there for the Boston Celtics last night. I mean, there's just so many guys that are capable of making. Hauser has drilled some big 3s for them as well. And then for Dallas, you're getting Luka, you're getting Kyrie, maybe a little PJ when he has a little streak. And other than that, what are you getting from anybody else offensively? Throughout the course of this series, not a whole lot. And it's just so much easier to defend when there's only 2, maybe 3 guys on the court at any given moment that scare you when you're the Celtics trying to defend that. Meanwhile, if you're Dallas, it's pick your poison because there's so many different guys that have been stepping up and making the big shots for them. So it's just a much more difficult assignment as a team for Dallas because there's just so many more shot makers right now for the Boston Celtics. And based on what we've seen here in the first 3 games of this series. So those are going to be the looks for me. First quarter, Dallas, full game, Boston, and a little Dallas first half, Boston full game at +450. That's Dallas to lead at halftime, Boston to win the game, +450. And one thing I wanted to say about the 1972 finals, Game 5, the link I posted, Jerry West winning the championship, the one as a player. You know who was playing for the Knicks in that game, in that series? The great broadcaster for the Knicks all these decades, Walt Clyde Frazier, man. He was playing for the Knicks in that series, and it was so cool to see him as a player one more time as well. So just great memories watching that.
Well, Bano, sounds like you got a nice script there for the game that you have going. If it goes according to plan, you have a pretty nice payout. So I can root with you for that. Wham Bam, do you think the Mavs have anything left in the tank? Do you think they'll start out hot, like Babano saying? Can they sustain it for 48 minutes?
It'll have to be PJ Washington. It'll have to be him. Just like Babano said, it's really 3 people that's going to be contributing here. It's going to be Luka, PJ, and Kyrie. If I have to go anywhere with the Dallas Mavericks, it has to be PJ Washington. I did see that there's a free throw prop that he's been hitting consistently through this series, these 3 games. And I did want to look into that. That is the way I was going to look into betting PJ. Watched it on the prop side. I forgot where I seen that at there, but neither here nor there. But that's the way on the prop side of Dallas. Other than that, no way, Jose. I don't want nothing to do with them, bro. I think it's over. Demoralizing type feel. Not sure what type of team we're going to see. Be here next year as far as this being the same team here. When they were able to take out the lobs from this Dallas Mavericks team, they really was, using that to their crutch throughout this postseason as far as lob threat within Derek Lively. Luka being able to create that. Now Luka is not necessarily, what he had 6 assists, which is the most assists he had so far in this finals. Wasn't able to get his threes to drop, and I think that has a lot to do with the way they were closing out on him. He was thinking he was getting fouled on some of those threes, on those closeout, and he was complaining and just complaining and just complaining. And I was really thinking, like, man, if that was Udoka on the other side of the day, if that was Udoka if like he could just channel his Ime Udoka and just say, stop bitching and stop complaining, you know what I mean? Maybe you'll be able to get something out of Luka. I think it's too late to expect him to play defense. So all this defensive rhetoric for Luka, save it. That's not happening anytime soon, bro. You should have started that earlier this year, not 3 games into the finals. I think Kyrie is going to continue to play well from here on out, but do I want to take his prop here? No, because I don't know what type of spirit we're going to have once they, look at their leader here and he's not necessarily leading them. And Kyrie is kind of second fiddle here. I don't think Kyrie has control of this team as much as, it seemed like he did earlier. Now that these guys are hitting with, some type of adversity, it seemed like they will fold here within this good Celtics team. It's so hard to beat them. They were going, like, in that game 2, for example, they went the first 3 quarters shooting 20% from 3, and they ended up being up 9 points. Like, it's just so hard to beat this Celtics team. Just like you're saying, you got so many different variations of players, and they're doing this all without ego. Reason why I believe that Jaylen Brown will be crowned the Finals MVP after this game is because Jason Tatum doesn't necessarily care about that, and they're going to do everything they can to win here. So I think Luka Cryberry is pretty much inevitable. I'm only going to bet the Celtics here, money line. I think this sweep is inevitable. This is over here. That is the only way I'm going to hear. This is the only thing I'm going to see on the side, the total side. I'm just going to stick to the Celtics. And if I do have anything for the Dallas Mavericks, it's going to be PJ. I think that over the free throw prop is pretty good money. I forgot what it was, but it's been pretty much cashing. And then maybe the points with him as well, or threes. I'll be something around with PJ there. Other than that, it's just Celtics, bro. I think it's about time I bleed green, Skee. Eventually it's going to happen, bro. It's going to happen eventually. And it's the first day. So that's going to be my only bet for this game so far. It's going to be Celtics.
Fair enough. Good stuff. I think that, I didn't really go through everything yet, but I've heard multiple guys say it after last game. I've heard them say it throughout the playoffs. We need to pick up the pace. We need to play with more pace. And I feel like that's the only way we're going to get easy baskets and better opportunities for Dallas. And if they're saying it, I'm going to believe them and think that they, will push the pace and be able to score. But I do think Boston will score too. So I think the over to 11.5 is worth a look. I did not bet it yet, but that's the way I'm looking.
Don't talk me into that again, because I heard that same shit before game 3. We got to push the pace, push the pace. I bet the over again, and the fucking thing stayed under again. But so I'm almost at the point where I'm tapping out on the over here for game 4. I commend you though for having the bravery maybe to still try it.
The only thing I would say, I think they were doing it though, Babano, in that first quarter. They were actually getting up and down the floor. They were scoring, being in transition. It's just once they get hit, it seemed like they just start getting demoralized. Like
they get bogged down.
Yeah, they allowed Jason Tatum to pretty much take over the game. And at the end of that first quarter, that threw off their rhythm. They should have had 40 plus points in that first quarter. But I do agree with that over too. I just didn't.
I think if you're going to touch the over, I think if you're going to touch the over, you spread it out at least 2, if not 3 ways. First half full game, or first quarter even first half full game.
Yeah, I like first quarter.
I worry about it bogging down again when Boston tightens the screws, which is exactly what happened last night.
And to
So
your
first
point,
quarter
like
over,
him to
maybe,
come
huh?
out, I like that first
Yeah.
quarter over because I do
Yeah.
believe Mavericks probably get their best shot
Yeah.
of scoring in that first quarter.
54.5 is the number currently, and probably worth a look there.
Yeah.
All right. We moving on over. Best
Kyrie
bet.
over points. I would go back to the well with that. I did cash with that last night. Kyrie over, what was it, 23.5? He ended
Yeah.
up going over that easily, 35.
Yes,
With
he
Luka,
did.
bitching with the refs and and having his issues, and he got fouled out. I'm sure he'll have a big game too, but I think there's a little more value with Kyrie. He finally got out of the shooting slump in game 3. He's at home. To go over his prop again, I'll take a shot with that.
Anything else for you, Wham Bam?
And then I'm not going to actually take the money line for Dallas. I'm going to take with the Celtics. I'm going to take the Celtics 4-0, the correct score there. It's minus 105. That's a little bit better juice than minus 115. If you get better money line with Boston, money line like even money, then I'll do that. But right now it looks like minus 105 is the best way.
All right, good stuff. Always got to make sure you're getting, the best of the number. And now best bets. And it sounds like you guys both have bets locked in. Sounds like y'all ready to go. But I can't lie. I haven't made a bet. So I'm gonna go first. And I'll say this. No bet yet for me, but if I was if I was gonna have if I was making a bet right now, it'll be between the full game over or that first quarter over that we were just talking about. Some way, shape, or form, I want to bet for points in this game. I do think the defense intensity for Boston will be taken down just a little bit. Just a little bit. You're up 3-0. I think it's just human nature for your foot to come off the gas a little bit on that end. And I think both teams will score. So over some way, shape, or form is what I'm looking at here. Gotta go to Wham Bam next. And as I think it's a prop here, but let the people know what's the best way to get paid in game 4.
Well, the best way to get paid was obviously yesterday. Y'all should have had the Jaylen Brown Finals MVP. That's looking like it's a pretty much solid look right now, minus 350, I think it is now. So that's looking solid. But for the best bet for the pay that you can take right now, it's the Celtics correct series score 4-0. We're predicting the sweep here. You can take the money line if you're getting better than minus 105. Obviously, it's the same thing, but 4-0 correct score for the Celtics series price at minus 105.
Good stuff. And last but not least, what could be the last episode of the season, we get Babano to take us home. So let the people know what you think is the best way to get paid, and let's hear your best Dutch Boy Fresh impression.
Exactly. Bobano/pseudo Dutch to take us home here on this show. Let's go for that big plus 450. I'll go with that for my best bet. Dallas to win the first half, Boston to win the game, plus 450. I think it's got a real chance. Hell, that's exactly how it played out last night. If Dallas is going to fight to stay alive, it'll be early that they show up, but I don't know if they can sustain it for 48 minutes. Boston's been consistently a really good second half team in this series, and I think that might continue. So Mavs first half, Celtics full game, plus 450. That is going to be my best bet for game 4 on Friday night. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button on the way out. And if this is our last show, we thank you for joining us all season long, Tuesdays and Thursdays right here on the NBA OG show. And hopefully we're back next season doing this again. I'd certainly sign up for it. And the NBA is a hell of a drug. And you're looking at the plugs. Yeah, man. We're going in. We're coming out with the motherfucking bag. Y'all stay fresh, stay blessed, and let's stay putting these motherfucking bookies to rest. Yeah, man.